Dubai looks like the future. Glass towers, artificial islands, no personal income tax headlines, a city marketed as a cheat code for wealth. But living in Dubai is becoming financially unworkable for a growing number of the people who actually keep it running. Start with housing. Dubai's property boom isn't a rumor anymore. It's measurable. Depending on the index used, average residential prices rose roughly 60 to 75% from early 2021 to early 2025, pushing the market back toward, and in some indices beyond, prior cycle peaks from the mid-2010s. Rents followed. In 2024, multiple market reports estimated around 19% growth in residential rents, while residential sales prices rose about 20% in the same year. Now combine that with population pressure. Dubai has been adding residents at a pace that turns housing shortage into a mathematical outcome. According to the Dubai Statistics Center's population clock, the city passed 4 million residents in 2025, with some months adding well over 10,000 new people, enough to strain any rental market. This is the trap. Dubai sells itself as a place where you arrive and instantly level up. But the first bill you face is rent. And rent doesn't care about your ambition. When housing jumps faster than salaries, the city quietly changes shape. It stops being a place where you build a life. It becomes a place where you rent a life. Because Dubai isn't just expensive, it's unstable expensive. The cost doesn't rise gently, it jumps in steps. Lease renewal, school fees, insurance, car payments, toll roads, parking, a new service charge, a new admin fee, a new deposit. And the harshest part is that Dubai's system makes high costs feel like a personal failure. If you can't keep up, it looks like you didn't hustle hard enough. Not that the ground moved under your feet. So the question isn't, is Dubai expensive? The question is, what happens to a city when the people doing the real work can no longer afford the basic act of living inside it? To understand why Dubai is tipping into impossible, you have to stop looking at the skyline and start looking at the incentives underneath it. Dubai didn't become Dubai by accident. It became Dubai by design. The city built a global business model. Attract capital, attract talent, build faster than competitors, and turn real estate into a magnet. For a long time it worked, because the promise felt simple. Come here, earn more, keep more, live better. But in the 2020s, that promise mutated. The engine that built Dubai, property, started consuming the lives of ordinary residents. Dubai's own real estate reporting shows how sharp that shift has been. Average apartment prices rose from roughly 14,719 United Arab Emirates dirhams per square meter in 2021 to about 19,488 United Arab Emirates dirhams per square meter in 2024. A rise of roughly 32% in 3 years. Villas climbed even faster. Some major market indices show double-digit annual growth through 2023 and 2024, with parts of the market recording more than 30% growth in a single year, bringing total growth since 2020 close to a doubling in certain areas. That kind of increase doesn't just make homeowners richer. It rewires the rental market. Landlords raise renewals. New leases reset higher. And anyone arriving into the city gets priced at today's level, not the level that existed when the marketing video was made. This is why Dubai can feel like two cities on the same street. One city is for people who own assets. Their cost of living rises, but so does their balance sheet. The other city is for people who live on monthly income. For them, every growth year is a pay cut in disguise. And Dubai adds a unique pressure. Residency is tied to status. For many residents, the legal right to stay is still linked to employment or qualifying visas. Job loss does not trigger immediate deportation, but it starts a time-limited grace period that turns a housing problem into a life problem. Even the solutions are priced like luxury products. Long-term residency pathways increasingly require proof of capital. For example, the UAE Golden Residency Investor Route requires a property investment of at least 2 million United Arab Emirates dirhams. A threshold that makes clear who the policy is built for and who it is not. So Dubai becomes a city where stability is purchased. If you're wealthy, you lock in better housing, better locations, better schools, better healthcare, and often better visa security. If you're not, you improvise. You move farther out. You share rooms longer than you planned. You delay family plans. You accept commutes that drain your week. And once that happens, Dubai's famous quality of life flips. You aren't living in a futuristic oasis. You're living in a permanent calculation. How long can I afford this before one surprise cost forces me to leave? Now zoom out. Housing is the spear point, but it's not the whole weapon. Because when a city's housing costs explode, everything else becomes more expensive too. Labor, services, logistics, and time. The next layer is inflation, not just the official number, but the lived version. Dubai's consumer inflation has stayed in the low single digits in recent years, around 3% year-on-year in late 2024. On paper, that sounds manageable. In real life, it hides the shock, because housing is one of the largest parts of a household budget. And when rents surge by nearly 20% in a year, averages stop mattering. Housing absorbs a larger share of income. Wages do not rise at the same speed. Teachers, nurses, office staff, and retail workers cannot negotiate a 19% raise on command. Then comes transport. Dubai's geography forces movement. If you move outward to afford rent, you pay in distance. Distance turns into fuel, solid tolls, parking, car maintenance, and time, the invisible cost that steals your evenings. Then come family costs. Dubai is famous for private education and premium healthcare. For many residents, those are not luxuries, they are necessities. When rent climbs, everything else gets squeezed. People don't stop paying for school. They stop saving. They stop planning long-term. And when people stop planning long-term, the city stops being a home. Here's another structural problem. Dubai's labor market is segmented. The same city contains wildly different wage universes. Average salary statistics mislead, because a small, high-earning group pulls the number upward, while a large share of the workforce lives on far more modest incomes. So you get a brutal mismatch. A global city price tag on a workforce whose wages do not match global city housing costs. And there's a psychological layer that makes it worse. Dubai's brand is aspiration. When you are surrounded by symbols of wealth, normal financial strain feels like failure, even when it is structural. Now add one more ingredient: demand that does not behave like normal demand. Dubai's property market is not only driven by people who need a home, it is driven by people who need a safe asset, a second base, or a residency pathway. When that happens, housing stops being shelter first and becomes financial strategy first. And when housing becomes strategy, the market stops caring about local affordability. It cares about what the next buyer, often international and cash-rich, is willing to pay. That is how impossible happens in a city that still looks like a postcard. From the outside, Dubai appears to be thriving. Cranes in the sky, record transactions, confident headlines. Inside, a growing number of residents are quietly doing exit math. Not because they hate the city, because they cannot justify paying more each year for less stability each year. And once the exit starts, it does not stay contained. The first people to leave are usually the ones with options. Skilled workers, mid-career professionals, young families, the exact group a city needs to feel normal. This is where Dubai's crisis turns from personal budgeting into system risk. Businesses face higher wage pressure just to keep staff. Service quality drops as turnover rises. Commutes get worse, because people live farther away. Traffic becomes the daily tax everyone pays, regardless of income. And the cruel irony is that Dubai's success accelerates the problem. The more Dubai is marketed as a safe haven for wealth and mobility, the more demand flows in. Demand pushes property higher. Higher property pushes rent higher. Higher rent pushes workers outward, or out. It is a feedback loop disguised as growth. So what could actually fix it? Not slogans, not skyline projects, not another luxury district. A real fix would have to hit the incentives. Policies that stop housing supply from being absorbed primarily as a financial instrument. Rental market stabilization that protects residents from sudden step changes. A serious push for mid-market, family-sized housing where people actually work. And residency rules that reduce the one job loss equals one forced exit fear that turns every rent increase into existential pressure. But those fixes collide with the very model that made Dubai famous. Dubai's global pitch has always been simple. Capital is welcome. Growth is fast. Barriers are low for money. And when a city's identity is built on being a magnet for global wealth, affordability becomes an afterthought. unless it threatens the machine itself. That is why impossible does not arrive as a single collapse. It arrives as a slow conversion. First, home ownership becomes unrealistic for the middle. Then renting becomes unstable. Then raising a family becomes a luxury decision. Then the city becomes a temporary stage, not a permanent place. Dubai is not the first city to face this squeeze, but Dubai is a special case because it amplified every modern pressure at once. Rapid population growth, asset-driven housing, segmented wages, and a residency system that ties stability to status. So when people ask, is Dubai still worth it? They are asking the wrong question. The real question is, what kind of city is Dubai becoming? A home, or a high-performance marketplace where humans are treated like renewable inputs? Because if living in Dubai requires constant upgrades, higher rent, higher fees, higher deposits, higher stress, then it is not the future. It is a warning, and it is telling you something simple. When a city becomes a product, the people who live inside it eventually become the price.